I was up here in '06, which was a while ago, and I set out into the world after that, and I wanted to be an inventor. I've wanted to be that ever since I was a kid. I guess no one really told me that that wasn't really a job position in the world. I don't know if anyone shares this passion with me, if you ever look up job listings, they never list inventor. But that's what I wanted to do. And then after Sage, I also didn't go to college. This was for a combination of reasons. One, as Gordon said, I had a passion for computers, which meant I didn't do my homework. So that didn't necessarily give me a scholarship. And the second one is I wasn't really in a position to get a student loan. So I was in this situation where I wanted to do a lot. I wanted to be an inventor, and I couldn't go to college, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. So I sat there, and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? I need to put together some sort of plan. I had obviously seen Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and seen what they'd done in the Valley, in Silicon Valley with computers. And as I was really into the internet, I decided, well, okay, I can invent some stuff over there. Let's do that. So I need to figure out how to get a job at a startup without having a degree, and do enough and get enough experience and have enough accomplishments so that there's a tipping point where someone can't say, oh, you can't do this because you don't have a degree. I had to figure out how to do that myself. So Mozzie, I don't know where he's here somewhere. I met Mozzie in the library at Sage, and we immediately started making websites and started making businesses online and trying to solve problems that you can solve with websites. One of our friends in '07 asked us, because he thought we had money, which we didn't, but he thought we did, so he was like, hey, Halo 3 just came out, and I want an Xbox, and I want Halo 3, can you buy it for me? Like, no, not, absolutely not, that makes no sense. But what we can do is, well, you know, if you want something, then we can figure out what we want out of it. So we set up this thing called Would You 72, where we set up this 72-hour game show where we had him play Halo 3 for 72 hours straight, and the goal was, if you could do that without sleeping, then we'll get it for you. And if you allow us to broadcast it live to the internet, then we'll do it for you. So he agreed to this, because he wanted it. And we did it. And we used this website called Ustream, which at the time, I think they raised like $1 million. They had just a couple of 100,000 people using it. It was really, really small. And I remember going to a conference the week before we did this show and meeting the founder randomly. And I walked up to him, I was like, hey, Brad, he's now the CEO. I was like, Brad, Mozzie and I, we're gonna do this show where we're gonna have our friend play Halo 3 for 72 hours straight. He's like, yeah, okay. Okay, email me or something. So a week later, we do this, and we end up getting over 100,000 viewers that weekend, and it ended up being the biggest broadcast that Ustream had ever had. The site actually went down. Now we have Brad calling us on the phone saying, oh no, I'll fix the site, don't go anywhere, it's going to be okay. So that got us recognized with a startup. And we didn't really care what startup it was, but we liked Ustream, they did live video, and he recognized that we were really good at driving traffic, so he gave us both internships. This brings me back to me wanting to be an inventor, and nobody ever saying that was a job. Apparently, in the web industry, there is a job. They don't call it inventor, they call it product. And you don't, as an engineer, you would build things. As product, you architect everything and tell the engineers what to do. Kind of like an architect is to a house, a product person is to a website. So I started complaining about the site enough and saying, oh, there's problems here, we need to fix that. I have a solution, just like, let me try. And finally, when I was 19, they put me in charge of all of products. So suddenly, I had 70 engineers and was able to sketch things out and tell all these engineers what I wanted to do. And not everything worked. I would be lying if I told you that I have had successes every single moment of my life. That's not true at all. I failed so many times, it's crazy. But the thing is, I just kept going. So, I remember I had this one time where I redesigned the entire website, and I wrote this blog post I was so proud of it. I worked on this thing for 3 months. I was like, oh guys, we redesigned the website. Here's all the ways it's better. It's going to be amazing. I got 800 comments back of people telling me how much I suck. In the end, the stats proved that it was better, and so I was able to kind of get over that, and since then have a really tough skin. But for 4 years, I was at Ustream, and I led products, and was able to lead the vision and architect this, while Mozzie, who I met in the library over there, who did the game show with me, he was able to carve out a similar, his own position where he did VIP support. So previously you had YouTube where you could record video, and that was cool because you could share videos online. Ustream is kind of like a new element that was introduced to the internet where now you could do live videos. So I could go live and suddenly just from my computer for free, everybody could watch me. So celebrities started using this, and when they popped up on there, Mozzie was the guy that would go into the chat room. There was a chat room next to the live video that you could go, everyone could talk in. He'd go in there and be like, oh, I'm Mozzie, I'm working at Ustream, come talk to me. And then he would make sure that they don't leave the site and they keep broadcasting. So during our 4 years at Ustream, while I'm learning how to lead a huge team of engineers and architect a website that people don't leave, even if there's 800 people that don't like it, Mozzie is meeting all these celebrities. We ended up getting really good at figuring out how to drive a lot of traffic to one experience at one time, as opposed to recorded video where you can have it go for a very long amount of time. It doesn't really matter when they watch. Live, they'll have to watch at the same time. So Lil Wayne recognized this, and we actually took over all of his digital media as a side project when he had 1 million fans. Then he went to jail for 9 months, and he wasn't able to update his Facebook statuses and his Twitter, so that kind of left open an opportunity for us to jump in. So we've grown him now from 1 million to 38 million fans on Facebook, which means that if he just has a random thought, he just puts it in his phone, and then it goes out, and 38 million, his army around the world, they get to see that. So last year, Mozzie and I left, because the ultimate goal was, let's go to the Valley, and let's, we're not going to college, so let's go work at a startup, and they'll teach us how to make a startup. And then the startup we were at ended up being worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and I think 100 million people use it every month now. And we're like, okay, I think it's time where we leave. Now we know all these celebrities, we know all these major brands, and we know how to build a product, and we know how to get to a company that is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So we should probably stop working for other people and making them lots of money, and let's go do that for ourselves. So we left last year. We raised $750,000 before we had a product. We basically went in there and said, hey, this is who we are. We're going to build something cool. We really know a lot about the internet. And they're like, okay. So we raised money from people that made Facebook, that made Zynga, made Google, made sure to get all the really smart people. And now what TracksBuy is a platform for these, right now, musicians and soon anyone that has huge distribution to launch content online and then leverage that moment to get back whatever value they want, whether that's more fans or going viral or collecting information on the fans or selling concert tickets, whatever it is, we have a campaign for it. We ran into this problem where too many celebrities were calling us because they wanted us to help them like we helped Lil Wayne. And I don't know if any of you have run into this problem, but it kind of sucked. So we decided, let's make a website that does this instead so we don't have to talk to the celebrities. So that's where I am right now.